Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I want to discuss promulgation of the law of Thelema. For those that don't know me, my name is Lilith. I'm a Thelemite. I've been a Thelemite for over 30 years. I'm a proud member of the Ordo Templi Orientis, or the OTO, and Thelema is near and dear to my heart for many reasons. One of the most simple reasons is that it is not an exaggeration or hyperbole to say that Thelema has actually saved my life and changed it in dramatic ways. And I don't say this lightly. And with that, I think, comes the duty for myself to promulgate the law of Thelema. The Book of the Law specifically discusses this, and I'm going to discuss a little bit of my own personal thoughts on this subject. They may not be reflective of everyone's thoughts, and to the extent that I make someone think, that is good. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to come to the same conclusions as me on everything, but thinking is always good. To the extent something I say is offensive or someone gets angry, that's okay too. I have thick skin and I welcome commentary by telephone, email, comments. Do your best. It's all going to be good. Now, about a year ago, circumstances came about that prompted me to write a very short essay on a subject similar to this. And I've been reflecting on it for a while, and I wanted to do this video. And I wasn't sure. I was certainly not just going to read an essay into a video, but I decided to do quite a bit more. And I will link the essay below for anyone who wants to read it. But let's go forward and do this. What then is promulgation? Well, literally, looking the word up, it's a verb. In English, it means to make known by open declaration, publish, announce, a decree, news, or etc. About the 1520s, from Latin, coming from promulgatus, the past participle of promulgare, make publicly known, propose, openly publish. Next, what is promulgation not? Well, promulgation is not conversion. The Book of the Law, chapter 3, verse 42, specifically says, "Success is thy proof. Argue not, convert not, talk not overmuch." And it goes on in chapter 2, verse 39, in part to say, "And to each man and woman that thou meetest, were it but to dine or to drink at them, it is the law to give. Then they shall chance to abide in this bliss, or no, it is no odds, do this quickly." And so, the Book of the Law specifically says we shouldn't be converting people, but we should be promulgating the law. With this in mind, it's useful to look at least a little bit at what Aleister Crowley wrote about promulgation. This will not be an exhaustive, but a little bit of a look. I'm going to start with Liber Aleph in particular. His Apologia will be where I start. And in part that reads, "But for each man is a path. There is a constant and there is a variable. Seek ever, therefore, in thy work of the promulgation of the law, to discover in each man his own true nature, that he may in due season accomplish it not only for himself, but for all who are bound unto him." And like most parts of Liber Aleph, it's worth contemplating. And later in De Passe Perfecte Luce, in part it reads, "The knowledge of this one matter is the end of dread and of regret. Make it the governor of thy mind to rule its pace, lest it hasten or lag by stress of thine environment. How this attainment is possible for all mankind, since it asketh but resolution of the complexities that already exist, so that this true wisdom and happiness cometh by the acceptance of our law, and its use is the key to all locked doors of the mind, and the reconciliant of every contention. O my son, in the promulgation of the law lieth the reward of our chief work, the making whole of mankind from the conscience of sin which divideth him and afflicteth his spirit. These are powerful words, again, to be reflected on. Specifically, in a letter written by Crowley to Frederickot in 1915, Crowley writes, I have got my AA grade, and that too exactly at the time prophesied. I must do my duty, and that is to preach the law. Therefore, this is the word of Baphomet to all of the members of the OTO, Thelema. One must take some very simple, some very deep word, which cuts at the heart of things. I say, Thelema, go on, therefore, preaching this and nothing else in season and out of season. You won't have to wait long for results. Strong words again by Crowley. He mentions the word duty in this letter. And when we read Crowley on duty, under section C, duty to mankind, Crowley lists establishment of the law of Thelema as the sole basis for conduct. That cannot occur without promulgation either. In Libra 300, Aleister Crowley is even more specific, stating, all those who have accepted the law should announce the same in daily intercourse. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, shall be the invariable form of greeting. These words, especially in the case of strangers, should be pronounced in clear, firm, and articulate voice, with the eyes fixed frankly upon the bearer. If the other be of us, let him reply, love is the law, love under will. The latter sentence shall also be used as the greeting of farewell. So we've already examined the exact meaning of the word promulgation, that the Book of the Law prescribes promulgation for Thelemites. For whatever it's worth, Aleister Crowley was very strongly in favor and very vocal about promulgation in all circumstances. And so now we arrive at logic. And the logic says this. The logic is that without promulgation of the law of Thelema, there will be people in this world who never have an opportunity, due to their situation, circumstances, etc., to even know the law exists, much less abide in that bliss or know. And so we must do our part, not only for ourselves and not only for them, but for the whole of humanity. Because our ability to do our true will depends entirely on being allowed to do so by others. And we can, of course, say we would fight. But a star in the company of heaven need not fight if we all abide in that bliss. And so, Thelema is, in a sense, the way that we guarantee ourself and others the freedom to do our true will. And it is impossible for this to occur globally without the promulgation of the law. And that might seem like a pipe dream to some, but it doesn't to me. Now, why do I say all these things? Well, here's where we're going to get to the essay that I wrote about a year ago to write this short essay, and I'm going to go through it in part. The mistake that many make who are anti-Thelemic, or those who dislike Thelemites or Aleister Crowley, is merging Aleister Crowley the man with Aleister Crowley the magus, and they are not one and the same. Aleister Crowley the man was like all of us, fallible, had good days and bad days. Aleister Crowley the magus composed the holy books with his hand and his pen. Aleister Crowley the magus uttered the word Thelema. These are two different things. And by focusing and merging any bad boy reputation of Aleister Crowley into Thelema, people attempt to discredit, undermine, or otherwise take sublimely beautiful and in very important books and tarnish their reputation. But any serious study of these books themselves have nothing to do with Aleister Crowley or what naughty things he may or may not have done. These texts stand on their own. They don't need defending. Well, now we've already seen the Book of the Law says Thelemites should promulgate. Big shock. Aleister Crowley was in favor of promulgation to the extent we care. Big shock. And that logically it follows that if you're a Thelemite, you should promulgate the law for the betterment of all. More shocks. I'm obviously being sarcastic. But this brings me to the where is the controversy portion of this. And it is this. I believe, and I have witnessed, many Thelemites who hide the fact that they are a Thelemite. And although there are some circumstances and conditions in which one must perhaps do this at certain points in life or in certain countries and things like that for health and welfare reasons, I think that it is a very small number. And I challenge people to think deeply for themselves. Do you hide because you are afraid of things that are not really to be feared? Are you really going to be drug out and shot? Or do you feel like you might lose respect or privilege from your neighbors, friends, relatives, etc., if they knew you were not in a religious majority? And this is a problem. It's a real problem, in my opinion, because if we are living as Thelemites in a non-Thelemic world, and we don't even tell those around us what Thelema is, how do we expect the world to become Thelemic? And if we don't believe the world should become Thelemic, how are we Thelemites? There's a real conundrum here. It's something to be considered deeply. I can't promulgate the law while hiding. And we know what the Book of the Law says about fear. Fear not at all, fear neither men nor fates, nor gods, nor anything. Money fear not, nor laughter of the folk, folly, nor any other power in heaven or upon the earth or under the earth. New is your refuge, as Hadit your light, and I am the strength, force, and vigor of your arms. I challenge each and every one of you to promulgate the law of Thelema in whatever way you can. Embody in yourself the following. Lord visible and sensible, of whom this earth is but a frozen spark, turning about thee with annual and diurnal motion, source of light, source of life, let thy perpetual radiance hearten us to continual labor and enjoyment, so that as we are constant partakers of thy bounty, we may in our particular orbit give out light and life, sustenance and joy to them that revolve about us, without diminution of substance or effulgence forever. So mote it be. And the light and the life therein are but rays and emanations from the law. And we should promulgate the law to those around us, much like that collect from the Gnostic Mass. And if we do so, if we all do so, and spend more time worrying about promulgation and less time worrying about bickering, infighting, politics of the mundane, and other matters, I think there's a good chance that Thelema can be improved. I think there's a good chance this world can be improved. And if I didn't think that with all of who I am, I wouldn't be making this video. And with that being said, for those who have made it this far, I am open and would love to discuss this matter further. If someone wants to discuss it by email, on my Discord or otherwise, please reach out. Tell me why I'm right. Tell me why I'm wrong. I listen. I am not intractable or immovable. But I do think that this world can be a better place. And I think part of the solution is Thelema. And with that, I say thank you all. Love is the law. Love under will.